It's a dance hall.
Hello and welcome to the Out of the Closet podcast. I am your host and comedian, Andrew Pettke. Welcome to the show. I am so excited you are here. We are broadcasting out of the closet. No, literally, I'm literally in the closet. The whole show is actually broadcast from our home closet. From laughs to interviews to games with special guests to fashion to community to all things LGBTQAI+ and gay friendly to highlighting special organizations doing amazing things in their community to information and opinions. This show is full of tons of amazing info, big laughs, and over-the-top fun. And I'm so thankful you're joining us. Thank you so much. You can always follow any of our social media channels on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram at Podcast OOTC. That's OOTC for Out of the Closet. So that's Podcast OOTC. You can find us on there. Also, if you want to take a look inside the closet, you can actually see the podcast. You can see the outfits I'll be changing into for our various segments. You can always check it out on our YouTube channel. That's right. We are also a vodcast. That's right. You can go online. You can see everything that's going on. Listen, I know this is a lot of information. So just when you get a chance, go to outoftheclosetpodcast.com anytime, and you can find out all the places that we are at. That's outoftheclosetpodcast.com. Squirrel friends, today we have an amazingly handsome and healthy guest that is going to help you get your gay ass healthy through better nutrition. Plus, this dietitian chef recently won the Great Food Truck Race on Food Network as, get ready for this, a drag queen. And this amazing guest just happens to be the light of my life, the yin to my yang, my husband, chef and dietitian, NAVIN HARIPRASAD. He's going to let you know which diets to avoid, which ones to work, and how you can still enjoy all the food you want. Plus, we'll discuss the best way to get your body ready for that upcoming big gay cruise. And we'll play a game called Would You Put This in Your Mouth with Chef NAVIN for some fun laughs. And then I'm going to tell you about how COVID-19 and the pandemic is affecting our neighborhoods and cities all across the United States, and how the businesses, services, and restaurants in these areas are surviving. We'll discuss slowly getting back to normal and how this pandemic may reshape our gay neighborhoods as we know them. And we will talk about ways we can support the neighborhoods to keep the fabric of our LGBTQAI+ communities alive and strong in a post-pandemic world. All right, and then later in the show, I'm going to tell you about one of my all-time favorite charities and organizations, Dallas's Resource Center, and how they are empowering lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer questioning communities and all people affected by HIV through improving health and wellness, strengthening families and communities, and providing transformative education and advocacy. I'll tell you about their food pantry and the work they're doing in the community, and even about their senior housing efforts for the LGBT senior community. And we'll wrap the show with this week's gay history lesson, the Stonewall in riots. I'll tell you all about how this little gay bar in New York became ground zero for gay riots, protests, and marches that helped us achieve a lot of the rights we have today as LGBTQ persons. So stick around. We're going to have an amazing time on this podcast. In fact, I hope you really get involved. I'd love to hear from you, ideas for the show or anything you'd like to hear. You can just shoot me an email anytime you want. It's at Andrew@outoftheclosetpodcast.com. That's Andrew@outoftheclosetpodcast.com. You can subscribe and follow our social media channels by searching for Podcast OOTC. That's Podcast OOTC. OOTC stands for Out of the Closet Podcast. Y'all, did y'all hear the recent news that Real Housewives of Salt Lake City star Jennifer Shaw was charged with running a telemarketing fraud scheme? Yeah, that's no joke. Literally, she was arrested yesterday and appeared before the federal court. If found guilty, she'll be forced to do a 4-part prison reunion with Andy Cohen. So get ready for that. Bravo. And former Apprentice contestant Summer Zervos, she gets to move forward with her defamation lawsuit against Donald Trump following a ruling from the New York's highest court yesterday. It was for unwanted kissing and groping twice, which also is the description of Trump and Melania's wedding night. He's fired. Gross. All right, finally, I noticed on the news today, yesterday, I saw that a 104-year-old woman in Romania received her second dose of the COVID-19 vaccine, becoming the oldest person in Bucharest to be fully vaccinated. She's 104. She got the vaccine. Are you guys thinking what I'm thinking? Yeah, where the fuck is Bucharest? Actually, Bucharest is the capital of Romania. I didn't know that. I had to look it up. All right, without further ado, let's get this party started. All right, guys, today on the show, I'm excited to introduce to you one of the all-time most amazing people that I've ever had inside the closet. A beautiful soul, one hell of a dietitian, and an amazing chef. But out of all of those amazing titles he holds, the most incredible title he has is as my husband. Oh. That's right. Welcome to the show for the first time ever. My husband, the winner of the Great Food Truck Race on Food Network, is a sassy Indian drag queen, dietitian with a master's in public health, and award-winning chef, NAVIN HARIPRASAD. Yay!
How's it going?
Mwah. I love you so much.
I love you too.
Thank you for joining me today. All right, though, today on the show, we are coming to NAVIN for professional dietitian advice and information. So we'll try to keep this as professional as possible.
In this hat, right?
Yeah, that hat's going to do it. We are inside the closet right now, and he's wearing this amazing sparkled hat. You can go to outoftheclosetpodcast.com, and you can see this hat. We are going to discuss today how you really are what you eat. We'll discuss fad diets and trend diets and why they may not be working for you, and ways you can adjust your diet today to see transformation sooner. And we'll discuss preparing for the big old gay cruise and or big old gay pool party season, and how to get that body tight and right. Mm-hmm. Or at least healthier and more informed. After serving as food services director for the county hospital in Dallas, Chef NAVIN launched his very first restaurant called Spice in the City in downtown Dallas in 2015. Prior to COVID, he created and built 4 successful restaurant concepts and a thriving catering company, and even prepared meals plans for his dietary clients. Then it's almost like I don't know you. I'm reading this real quick. Just want to make sure I get all the points. But then in 2019, Chef NAVIN, along with myself and our friend Sarah, won the Great Food Truck Race on Food Network. Mm-hmm. That's right. That's right. And he was a fun, over-the-top Indian American drag queen serving Indian Tex-Mex fusion cuisine. Unfortunately, once the pandemic occurred, Chef NAVIN was forced to close his restaurants and his catering company. And now he is the director of food services for the LA County Hospital. And I'm happy to have him here as not only my guest, but as my husband, as my lover. And for the first time ever, welcome Chef NAVIN HARIPRASAD to the Out of the Closet podcast.
Hello, everyone. Glad to be here. Glad to be here with you.
Let's be honest. You've been here before because this side's your half of the closet.
That's true. That is true. I have tons of fabulous items for you guys to look at.
This is my husband. We've been together for over 14 years. I'm married over 2, and I love him so much.
I love you too.
All right. Now, with all that said, we're going to get into diets real quick. So, I know who you are. Mm-hmm. I mean, I've been with you for 14 years.
You better know who I am.
But the people at home that are listening to this wonderful broadcast, do not know who you are. So tell me a little bit about your upbringing, your coming out story. Tell me about college, how you became a dietitian, and all that fun stuff. How you won the Great Food Truck Race.
Wow. Well, that's a lot. It's a lot of information. Well, I was born and raised in Dallas, Texas, first generation Indian American. And it was really interesting to kind of bridge the two worlds together. My Indian culture, along with the American culture. I had a lot of positive associations with both. So I tried to find a happy medium between the two. And so growing up was really interesting for me. And I wasn't out. So, I was trying to acclimate as a first generation Indian American in school, with my parents being here. I definitely wanted to be the best kind of apple in their eye. So I followed the best type of footsteps that I could, and really latched onto my mom a lot, especially at a younger age. My mom is really where I get a lot of my inspiration as a chef. So from a very young age, we started cooking in the kitchen. I was her sous chef. She'd throw parties for a ton of people.
And her food is phenomenal. I mean, it's all vegetarian, and it makes you realize you could eat just vegetarian and still love it all.
And she loves you for saying that, for sure. But she also loves you because you tear up some dosa and some South Indian food and vegetarian. So,
that's true.
Yes, my mom is a fabulous cook. I definitely feel like all of her stuff is memorable. I've never had anything that's bad that she's made. So she inspired me quite a bit. And so growing up, I really ate pretty healthy. And so I, went through high school and was trying to figure out I knew that I was gay, but I just didn't know when was the appropriate time to come out.
Right.
Luckily with my parents, I did end up coming out my senior year to them, and they were actually very accepting. I think they still found it difficult just because, they're parents and they had this picture of what they thought my life would be. But in a way, it's been a blessing because it's really opened up their mind to a lot of different experiences. They've been able to have such a diverse kind of culture to be introduced to, and they've met some amazing people throughout the years, including you. So
I'll say.
So I definitely feel like being gay was really something that was a blessing for myself and my parents. And so
so you came out and you went to college, and tell me a little bit about the college experience and how you got to become a dietitian.
Well, in college, I actually was planning on becoming a pharmacist. I really thought that was what I wanted to do. I worked as a pharmacy tech, but after a couple of years, I realized it was a little bit repetitive for me. And obviously I'm extra, so I like to be stimulated. So I kind of thought about what could I do, and I ran into a friend that happened to be a dietitian, and she kind of told me about it, and I was like, oh my God, nutrition, which, food, I love cooking,
right?
And then I love the science behind it. So I ended up going back to school, getting a second degree, and then I did an accelerated dietetic internship. And that's when I really realized that this was what I wanted to do. And so being a dietitian has really opened up my eyes to really learning how to cook healthier, but still incorporate a lot of flavor in your foods. And that's something that a lot of people struggle with. So I thought that there was an opportunity to really educate people, especially because I grew up around amazing healthy food that my mom cooked.
And so that's what led you to become a food service director at Parkland Hospital, where you oversaw patient food services. But then you took a gigantic leap and started a restaurant. How did that happen? I mean, I know how it happened, but tell everybody at home how it happened.
Well, I just felt like I was young enough to kind of take a risk as an entrepreneur. I've always had the entrepreneurial spirit, and I felt like I could have a larger public health impact by providing foods that are already done, that are healthy, that still have flavor to the general public, versus trying to educate them on it and hoping that they would comply.
Right. And so in 5 years, Chef NAVIN opens up 4 different concepts. There's 2 brick and mortars and then 2 virtual restaurants that open up. Mm-hmm. Tell me about those real quick.
Well, we started off with Spice in the City, which was our Indian Tex-Mex fusion concept. One of my favorite concepts ever. I love the 2 cultures so much, and to fuse the 2 cuisines was definitely a hit. Then we started Lucky Cat Vegan, which is an all Asian plant-based concept that we started, and that was virtual. We then started the Hot Off the Press, which was a gourmet panini soup and salad concept. And then our 4th virtual was Cajun Queen, which was a gourmet Cajun virtual restaurant.
And then a massive catering company on top of that.
Yeah.
But then, of course, the pandemic happened.
Womp, womp, womp.
Some crazy things like that. But right before the pandemic happened, we got to go on an amazing adventure.
We did. We actually got to go on a great food truck race, which we've always been a fan of. We watched the show.
So he's an over-the-top, if you've never seen it, an over-the-top drag queen princess over this food truck. We ended up winning season 12. It was myself, our friend Sarah, and NAVIN as Mystica Masala. And so we had an amazing time. Hey, we got to go to a quick commercial break.
All right.
But when we come back, I want to hear more about some diets. I want to talk about some of these fad diets I've heard so much about. Keto seems like the diet of the month right now. But let's dive into that and we'll have a good time. Are you ready?
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah.
All right.
Hi there, I'm Maylin Luke, owner of RustingPlantBased.com. I create hand-poured and hand-painted concrete planters and unique home goods in a variety of styles, colors, and also do custom orders. Just visit RustingPlantBased.com and use code OOTC to get free shipping on your order. Visit me on Instagram at RustingPlantBased for plant tips and tricks. Plant parents and aspiring plant parents are welcome.
Hey, it's Andrew. Do you have a business or a service that you would like to advertise on the Out of the Closet podcast? Well, if you do, I'd love for you to become a sponsor of the show. We can get your business in front of our amazing LGBTQAI+ and ally listeners who can't wait to hear all about your company. Plus, it's really super affordable. Right now, you can be included on 4 podcasts for just $250. Want to get started? Email me at andrew@outoftheclosetpodcast.com. Thank you.